And he unrolled the scroll, and he found the place where it was written,
"The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He sent me to proclaim liberty to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to set the oppressed free, to declare the year of the Lord's favour."
Then he rolled up the scroll, put it back, and sat down. Now all the people in the synagogue had their eyes fixed on him, because he said to them,
"Today, this reading is fulfilled in your hearing."
They were all well impressed with him, and they started to ask each other, "Look at the gracious words that are coming out of his mouth. Isn't he the son of Joseph?" But then he continued, and he said,
"Surely you will quote this proverb to me, 'Physician, heal yourself.' And you will ask me to do here in Nazareth the things you heard I did in Capernaum. Well, truly I tell you, no prophet is ever accepted in his hometown." You see, there were many widows living here in Israel at the time of Elijah, when the skies were shut for 3.5 years and there wasn't a drop of rain. So there was a very severe famine in the land, and everybody was starving, hungry. Yet God didn't send Elijah to help any of the widows living here. He sent him to help a widow in Zarephath, in Sidon. And at the time of the prophet Elisha, there were many people here suffering with leprosy. Yet not a single one of those lepers was cleansed and healed, only Naaman from Syria.
Hearing all this, the people of the synagogue were full of anger and looked at Jesus, and they came toward him and they pushed him outside and wanted to throw him over the cliff that their town was built on and to throw him to death. And the question is, why? What happened? A few minutes ago they said, "Look at the gracious words that are coming out of his mouth." It's okay, don't worry. Isn't he the son of Joseph, they said. But then they want to kill him. So if you notice, this happened immediately after Jesus told them 2 stories from the Old Testament. The story of Naaman the Syrian and the widow of Zarephath Sidon. Those 2 people who had a big faith and they obeyed the prophet and miracles happened in their life. You know those stories, right? So they become angry after they hear these 2 stories, although that these are 2 stories from the Bible. But do you know or remember what was the problem with these 2 persons he mentioned? As an example of faith?
They were Gentiles.
Exactly. They weren't Jewish people, they were 2 Gentiles. Jesus mentioned 2 Gentiles as example of faith to the Jewish community that was listening to him. Well, Jesus, couldn't you thought about David, Daniel, Samson? There are enough examples of Jewish faith in the Bible. Why? He spoke about 2 Gentiles. It isn't purpose, because in other words, he wanted to tell them, look, I'm the Messiah, and I came according to the prophecy I just read. I came for you, my people, for my Jewish nation, yes. But I came also for the Americans, the Gentiles. For everybody. Is that means that also the Romans are included? Yes. But those are the enemies. And those are occupying us. And we are looking for the Messiah to come to free us from the Romans. This is the Messiah that they were thinking of. This is the Messiah that was in their mind. All of a sudden they got a different version of the Messiah, the one that is opening the door for salvation, for freedom, even for the enemies, for the Gentiles. And for them, Jesus was not the one that met their expectations from the Messiah. That's why they considered him as blasphemer that has to be stoned, so took him out to stone him to death. But it was not the right time for him to die today. This was in the beginning of his ministry. He had 3.5 years still to go. So the Bible says he went among the crowd and he left Nazareth. And from that day on, he started to live in Capernaum or Capernaum, which started to be called his hometown. And he never came back to live in Nazareth anymore after that. Okay?